They never robbed banks. That was for amateurs. Banks were predictable, a game of numbers, and numbers always had a way of returning home. Cade preferred the irreplaceable. He stole data that could rewrite a person's life, seconds shaved from the blind spots of surveillance, identities erased so cleanly that even memory struggled to find them. His crew was the same consummate professionals who lived by a single, unshakable rule. If you bend reality, it always bends back harder. That rule died the night they met the device. The vault was silent, impossibly clean, as if it had never expected to be violated. At its center, a glass cylinder floated, holding something that defied definition. It was metal folding into light, and light folding into shadow. The scientists who built it called it the probability extractor. The whispers on the black market had a better name, the lockpick, because it didn't unlock doors. It unlocked what could have been. Rhea stepped forward first, as she always did. Fear was a concept that never seemed to stick to her. "So this is it," she said, her fingers lightly brushing the cylinder's surface. "Feels warm. Don't touch it yet," Cade warned, his voice tight. She just smiled, a flash of confidence in the sterile light. "Relax. We're here to steal tomorrow, not break it." The moment she lifted the device from its cradle, the vault lights flickered, not off, not on, but trapped somewhere in between, undecided. Outside, a distant siren stopped mid-wail, leaving an unnerving silence. Their escape was too easy, suspiciously easy. No alarms tripped, no guards appeared. The elevator doors opened onto a hallway that hadn't existed on Milo's meticulously drawn blueprints. "That's new," Milo muttered, his eyes darting across the unfamiliar architecture. Rhea simply raised the device. "Let's borrow an exit." She twisted the dial not left, not right, but in a direction that felt sideways, impossible. Reality rippled and folded. A door materialized where solid concrete had stood just a second before. They didn't hesitate. They ran through it. They didn't realize the true nature of what they'd stolen until later. The first crack in their understanding appeared on the drive back to the safe house. Traffic on the freeway just vanished. Not moved, not stopped, simply absent. The entire street felt like a half-forgotten memory, missing crucial details. Back at the safe house, Milo pulled up probability models on his rig, his eyes growing wider with each calculation. "This thing, it doesn't just alter outcomes," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "It deletes them." Rhea laughed, still high on the thrill of the heist. "Same difference, right?" "No," Milo said, his tone turning quiet and serious. "Not at all. The device didn't change the future. It removed futures entirely. Each time they used it, an entire possible timeline collapsed, whether it was random or connected. They had no way of knowing, but the cosmic system always balanced its books. You saved one outcome you wanted, and another, somewhere else, vanished forever. They swore they wouldn't use it again. That promise lasted all of 2 days, when the police boxed them in on a downtown street, a perfect, inescapable trap. Rhea didn't hesitate. One twist of the dial, and the blockade of squad cars never existed. They drove through the now empty intersection without a problem. Across the city, a major bridge collapsed for no apparent reason. The news called it a tragic structural failure, an accident. Only they knew the truth. Cade couldn't sleep after that. He started noticing things. The sky would sometimes freeze between the colors of sunset and night. Songs on the radio would skip entire verses, not just silence, but missing notes, as if they had never been composed in the first place. The world was fraying at the edges. The third use was the one that broke them. A sniper's bullet dropped Jack's mid-sentence, a spray of red against the brick wall behind him. Rhea screamed, a raw, ragged sound. Without thinking, Cade grabbed the device from her. "Fix it," he demanded. "It doesn't rewind," Milo shouted from cover. "That's not how it works." Cade twisted the dial anyway. Reality itself seemed to scream in protest. Jack snapped back to life, the blood reversing its course, flowing back into his body as if it had simply changed its mind. He gasped, confused but alive. Elsewhere, a residential tower imploded, a catastrophe with no survivors. They all felt it then, the terrible weight of their actions settling deep into their bones. "This thing is killing people," Rhea whispered, her face pale. "No," Milo corrected, his voice shaking. "It's killing possibilities. And the worst part? It was learning." Their meticulously crafted plans started to fail. Backup routes sealed themselves off. Every escape scenario they devised collapsed before they could even execute it. The world was actively working against them. Milo ran the numbers again and again, his hands trembling so badly he could barely type. Finally, he looked up, his face ashen. "There's no model where we get away," he said. Rhea stared at him, disbelief warring with dawning horror. "That's not funny, Milo. I'm not joking," he replied, his voice cracking. "We used the device to erase our failures. We erased every bad outcome, including the future where we managed to escape the consequences." They had stolen their own way out. That night, the device activated on its own. Coordinates burned directly into Cade's mind, the location of the facility where it was built, the origin point, the last remaining future where it could be destroyed. It was a trap. They knew it, but it was also their only path left. They went anyway. The facility was a nightmare of shifting realities. It existed in layers. Guards flickered between different ages, their uniforms changing in the blink of an eye. Walls remembered being something else entirely. Reality thinned with every step they took toward the core. In the central chamber, the device levitated, glowing with an unstable energy, automatically devouring probabilities at an accelerating rate. Alarms blared, their sounds distorting and stretching. "It's trying to reach zero," Milo shouted over the chaos. "A singularity. One future, one single, final outcome." Rhea turned to Cade, her eyes clear despite the madness swirling around them. "Ended. There's no future where we survive this," he said, the grim certainty in his voice. She smiled, a look softer and sadder than he'd ever seen on her face. "Then give the world its chances back." Cade gripped the dial one last time. Not to steal, not to escape, but to return what they had taken. He twisted. The device shattered. Possibilities flooded back into reality like air rushing into the lungs of a drowning man. Buildings stabilized. Distant sirens found their voices again. Futures, millions of them, regrew like forests after a fire. Time itself seemed to take a deep, collective breath. The crew vanished. No bodies, no evidence, not even a memory left behind in the world they had saved. Except one. Somewhere in the sprawling city, a man woke up with a scar on his hand that he couldn't explain, and a strange, unshakable certainty that once, just once, he had been given a universe of infinite choices, and he had chosen to give them all back. Because the greatest theft isn't what you take from the world, but what you remove from its tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, remember to like and subscribe for more.